Ramaphosa has cut short his participation in the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting that began in London yesterday, and he's coming home early. It was scheduled to end tomorrow, but he'll be back already in South Africa then to be in the Northwest Province, which, as we were reporting earlier, has become something of a war zone with looting of foreign shops reported, a lot of violence. We have seen clinics and hospitals shut down by Union Nahawu, and of course there are rising calls for the Premier to resign. Let's first go to London, where we're joined by correspondent Catherine Drew. Catherine, what can you tell us right now?
Actually, we are here outside Buckingham Palace, and we have been seeing the cars of the Commonwealth leaders arrive. And I can tell you that South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is not in that convoy of leaders heading to the palace for the start of this formal dinner, which kicks off the Heads of Government meeting. Just in the last 40 minutes or so, we've got a statement from his office, which says that he notes with utmost concern, the most serious concern, these protests in the Northwest Province. He is calling for calm. He is calling for a return to law and order. He says if protesters have grievances, then they must air those grievances in a peaceful way. He is also calling on law enforcement agencies to execute their duties with the utmost care and caution. So obviously he's calling the president now for a return to peace in that province. We understand, is taking a flight this evening from London, and so will be returning to South Africa Friday morning to deal with this personally. In his place, he leaves the Foreign Secretary, Lindiwe Sisulu. She will now fill in for the President at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. On Friday, all the leaders are due in Windsor, at Windsor Castle, hosted by Queen Elizabeth II, for a retreat and a more informal way to talk. So that's what we're hearing here in London. As I say, this formal state dinner going on behind me, but South African President en route back home to South Africa to deal with those protests in the Northwest Province.
Catherine, in terms of protocol, this must have happened before, so you say you leave a minister in your stead. Will he be missed, I guess?
I think he will. I think it's fair to say that the president is a rather popular member of the Commonwealth heads. Obviously, South Africa, an emerging power, a power that many other nations want to do trade with and get close to. We saw him chatting earlier with the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. Very amiable relationship they seem to have. Yes, he is a very popular member, and I think he will be missed. Obviously, I'm sure there's a lot of gratitude that the Foreign Secretary will be able to fill in for him at the informal retreat tomorrow. So it seems like all the business deals, the talks with investors have done. Now the president heading home to deal with the protests there. Perhaps, we don't know because it's a retreat and no media are allowed, but perhaps the Friday was a chance for leaders really to talk at an informal level. That will now be down to South Africa's Foreign Secretary.
So pity he won't be there, and there was this lovely moment with the Queen earlier. Would you say that thus far it's been successful for South Africa, maybe a sign that there has been political change here?
Well, we spoke to the Trade Secretary, Rob Davis, earlier, and he said that he thought he'd had a very successful visit. He's been accompanying the president, speaking with investors. He's also been holding his own meetings, and separately he's been holding meetings with the UK as it prepares for Brexit and exit to the European Union, saying that they wanted to keep trade on track. He's been speaking to the UK Trade Minister, Liam Fox, having meetings there, and that process was on track. So certainly he expressed confidence that it was a very good meeting. And a lot of observers, I think, very interested in what Cyril Ramaphosa had to say. He was on Bloomberg television yesterday, where he was asked at length about the country's economy. The land reform issue, of course, came up. Lots of issues. This 3% GDP target that he has. He expressed confidence. So I think he's been making a lot of the noises that investors, people who watch these things very carefully, had really wanted to hear about: a fight against corruption and about political reforms.
All right, thank you so much, Catherine Drew, reporting live from London. And the presidency says he and the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, Jessie Duarte, will be on the ground in the Northwest Province tomorrow, as she said, taking an overnight flight from London. All right, that's a wrap.